What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 99. Joining me today, I have Mr. Chris.
What's up, 99?
I know, right?
The way you said it reminded me of Brooklyn 99.
Hey. Yes, our normal intro is not going to be the same for the next couple of weeks, especially if I'm doing the intro. You know, Chris has got this thing down pat. He's the master. He's the man when it comes to it. But I just want to remind everybody, you know, Gaming Dad goes live every Wednesday on podcast services everywhere and on Fridays on YouTube. Please remember to rate us and like us on
Nice.
locations. You know, it actually does help us out a lot.
Oh,
Especially
yeah.
when you give us 5 stars. 5 stars means everything to us. It means that we're messing up. That means that we're doing great. It just means that we're like, you know. But hey, 5 stars, you know, give us all the comments you want. It'll help us be pushed everywhere. It'll help us know that we need to do better. So, but yeah, man, how are you doing, Chris?
All right, not bad, man. I like it. I like it. I like the intro. I like it. Nothing. It's weird sitting on this end where
You're like,
where I'm just like going through the intro and I'm like going into my head and I'm like, wait, hold on. Wait, what? What's going on? Okay, yeah, no, he's good. He's good. You're good, man. You're prepped.
I mean,
I'm proud of you, man.
I've had a little practice. I mean, it's not going to be 100%. I was actually trying to think about it, me doing the intro by myself than with a guest. But it's a work in progress. I'll get it down eventually, you know. Not all of us can be like you, the master of all
This isn't about being a master. This is just like a tape recorder in my head, and it just kind of plays, and I just kind of just spew it. You know what I mean? And just that's how it works.
Oh, yeah?
Eventually, it just becomes second nature, and it just comes out.
Dude, I love your background.
Thanks. It's massively improvised.
I see. It would actually go really good with the other show. I would.
It would.
If you do that into a YouTube version of it,
Here's
that would
the
be a
thing.
badass background.
This is the side that like you don't see when I record.
Oh yeah.
Because this is the opposite side of the room.
That's the other side of the studio. That's what it is.
Exactly. So it's one of those scenarios where the monitor I use, unfortunately, is not where I can have access to it right now. So at this point, I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll have to face it the opposite way. And this is, you know, it's different type of show, but hey, whatever. It'll do for today, I guess.
I mean, just like you, I'm trying to figure out where so that I want to set up my final style, you know, for my background.
So we can have the back set up the way that you need it and everything, yeah.
Pretty much. So this time I just went ahead with lined up with all my systems. I mean, you really can't see it behind me, but I do have all of my gaming systems on this somewhat of a center /
entertainment piece.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it.
Fair enough.
But yeah, man. So how you been? Have you been playing any games?
I've played a little bit of games. So, a little back story for anybody who doesn't remember, because I've come to realize I haven't really talked too much about it, but I have a kid due in like 2 weeks, which is why you're doing with exactly the reason why you're doing the intro. And it's come to my attention over the last week that I have a kid coming in 2 weeks. So it's been a bit rough the past couple of weeks because there's just so much going on, so much that needs to get done. So there's a lot of things that you think you're prepared for, and then you remember, wait, no. Yet I have all this other stuff I got to do. So it's one of the scenarios where the last couple of weeks for me have been nothing but a cluster. And I do want to take a second to apologize for everybody for the episodes that we've missed randomly. To be honest with you, so much has been going on with the kid coming and everything. I'm just going to take full responsibility for this. Letting you guys know, we try very hard at the show. We work a lot, and personally, I burn myself at both ends of the candle and through the middle. So it's one of those scenarios where I apologize. We're gonna go stronger in 2020. We're we're going to be talking about some things over the next couple of weeks that we are going to be improving to make a better product and to kind of change the way the product is coming out. So I'm excited about that coming down the pipeline. But again, right now, priorities. Holy crap! I have a baby in 2 weeks. Like,
Let me start off by saying, welcome to Gaming Dad 101. Where we were gamers and now we're dads
first
and we're
became
looking for
dads,
cheat
and now we're
codes.
looking for cheat codes.
So, this is what this show is about. I just want to welcome you. I want to say congratulations. I know the baby's not here. I am actually very excited for you.
Thanks.
Again, like always, if you need anything, I'm always here.
I
I'm always here
appreciate
to
it.
provide any cheat codes I need. If not, I have a really good recommendation for you.
What?
Go back to the other episodes and listen to the cheat codes over
Yeah.
there. See if you need any
If
refreshers,
anything,
any
no, if anything,
reminders.
you know how hard it is for us to come up with cheat codes every now and then. We're like, oh my god, what the hell? How do we not have a cheat code? If nothing else, this should probably provide brand new cheat codes, because it has been 4 years since I've had a child. So the fact that it's gonna, yeah, this is gonna definitely be an experience. Don't even think like so. I won't be part of the show for a couple of weeks till I get everything settled with the baby. But don't think that I'm not thinking of posting like little like dad diaries or some shit. Like, I don't know. I'm still thinking through it. But like, there's a very good chance that it may just turn into like, hey guys, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I just finally got the kid to bed and I couldn't sleep, so I'm playing this game. Check it out. You know what I mean? Like, I totally kind of see something like that in the horizon. Well, it'll be interesting, man.
Go for it,
It's,
man. That's what this
but
community is all about.
I think it's been the biggest like, I don't know, shock over the last couple of days because both Cece and I, we knew the kid was coming, clearly, especially her, clearly. But it's one of those where I don't think it really hit us until like a couple of weeks ago. Like when the baby shower happened, I think it's kind of where it was like, oh, damn, that's right. It is right around the corner. That's right. Yeah. So,
Nice.
all right, it'll be fun. It'll be interesting if for nothing else for content.
No, yeah. I mean, and me speaking from having two kids, the first time, yes, I was there the whole time when my wife's belly was getting bigger and bigger, because of the baby growing. It really didn't hit me that even after she gave birth, I was standing next to her. I saw the baby. I was in the
Yeah.
hospital for 3 days, with both of them. And like it never truly hit me that I'm like, oh my God, I have a kid.
Until you got
Until
home.
until I got home and actually had no more nurses to help us to take the baby, so we can be able to sleep.
Yeah.
It actually hit me like a week or so after the baby was born, to just process like, oh my God, I'm a dad, for the first one. Then the second one was like, oh my God, I have two freaking kids.
Yeah, Ricky. Well, let me tell you, for the third one, you're just like, oh my god, how am I going to survive? I'm outnumbered. Like
Exactly.
that's what it boils down to. I am officially outnumbered, Ricky. Like that's the long and short of it.
Somebody's gonna have
Uh,
to become tougher now.
I already feel like the bad guy 9 times out of 10, dude. It sucks. It sucks.
I mean,
Oh man. All right. Well, Mr. Host, let's get on with the show. What do we do next?
let's do it. Are you ready for this, Chris?
Woo! Yeah,
Are,
yeah.
can you please tell us, the reasons why we're broke?
Oh, wait, so you're making me responsible for that this week? A little heads up. So I'm going to give you a tip, a hosting tip 101. When you want the person who's not hosting to take care of something, please let them know before.
I mean, I have
you-
everything up. I was just trying to see if you were any kind of ready or
Oh, of
anything.
course I have I have everything up as well, man. Are you crazy? All right. So, Ricky, the reasons why we're broke this week, Shenmue 3 is coming out today, as of this recording, November 19th. Then we have Civilization 6 coming out November 22nd for PlayStation 4, Xbox One. And then we have Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, also on November 22nd. And then we have nothing.
I know.
Nothing. We have the week of Black Friday.
Yep.
So
And
that's what's coming.
of course, so the week of Black Fridays, we have no new release. But guess what?
What?
We're gonna have deals.
Nice.
We are gonna have
So
deals.
for the second time, because we haven't done this one from last year, is it time for Ricky's deals?
It'll probably time for Rika's deals for next week's episode.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna try to take a look, see what kind of good deals I can find, and then of course I can definitely provide that for you guys.
Sweet. All right.
But yeah, that should be highly interesting.
I look forward to it.
All right.
All right, now are you ready to take over the news or not? Because I did the notes for the news for me to do it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm like yeah, I didn't take the notes for the
All
news. You
right,
can go
cool.
ahead and take
I'll
that
take
part.
the news. Let's go. So for the
Again, I'm
next
just
news,
practicing the interest, okay?
no, and you got to get the rhythm for it. No, you're good, man. You're
That's
good.
right.
You're doing good. All right, so let's go ahead and get with the first news article. Oh my God, the first news article of the week over on Kotaku. We're going to talk about everything that Stadia does not have because of the Stadia release for this week. So let's start with item number one. Stadia, no.
It's
I had
like
a joke in my head, but I'm going to save it for a little bit. So, sorry. On launch, it will not have Stream Connect, State Share, or Crowd Play. It will not have an achievement system. It will not have the ability to use Chromecast Ultras to play games unless you pre-ordered the Founders Edition or I forgot the name of the second edition that they came out with when they ran out of the Founders. But your Chromecast Ultra will not play Stadia at launch. It will take a few weeks for them to receive it. Family sharing, you're not going to be able to do that either. So you're not going to be able to buy a game and share with your family. And buddy passes are not going to be available either. The subscription service signed up. When you signed up, you would get 3 months for Stadia within the $130 purchase, and you would also get 3 months for your friend. That's also not going to be available for a few weeks. At first, it's going to come out a few weeks after launch, and then the Stadia controller for some people is also going to be massively delayed. Then, last but not least on the list, the other thing that Stadia does not have is Chris Pastor's subscription anymore. So, and that was the joke I was going to make, and that's what honestly threw me off for the entire thing, because I was going to put it at the top of the list, but I was like, no, that's probably like the best thing to put last.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
better.
well, you've had better jokes, you've better systems. But I'm bummed. Yeah, I'm all full of bad jokes today. So, yeah, I canceled my Stadia subscription. Now, I've had this conversation with Ricky already, so of course he's not shocked. I talked it through with him like 10 minutes before I canceled.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. You're like legit telling me all your reasons on why you want to cancel it. I'm like,
Do you have that conversation?
well, oh yeah, I have it. I mean, I don't have it pulled up at the
Oh no, I
second.
sent it. I sent it to my wife that morning. I woke up. I woke up that morning and I was just like, it was like this article had just come out like an hour prior or something, and I was going over the article and I was going over everything, and I'm thinking through, and I'm like, okay, I am subscribed to PlayStation Plus. I am subscribed to PlayStation Now. I am subscribed to Xbox Games Pass. I have a PC with Games Pass. I have PlayStation. I have a Switch. Do I really need Stadia?
Yep. And
Do I really need it?
and it's funny because you put so will I need, meaning need all capitals
Yeah,
Stadia. So I'm like,
exactly.
really?
Well, because you think about it, you're like, okay, the awesome thing about Stadia is the mobile gameplay.
Yep.
You can play on any TV, you can play on any screen, you can play from your phone, for your PC, to your laptop, to whatever. That is one of the biggest promising things about Stadia.
Mm-hmm.
Now, none of that is available at launch.
Nope.
None of that is going to be available at some point in 2020. Some of these things aren't even confirmed as to when in 2020. So it's one of those scenarios where now I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, this was a Father's Day gift for me. This was a situation where if I receive after I've spent $130, and this was a kind of like a Father's Day gift for me from me slash Cece. So it was one of those scenarios where I would be very angry with myself if I spent $130 for something to sit on my shelf, because the only game that I would have available at launch is Destiny, which I've already mentioned. While I enjoy it, I don't necessarily care for it, and I've already played it, and I have it for PlayStation. And then there's nothing else that it was interesting. They only have 12 games at launch, and then they're going to be adding a few games. Oop, I have a visitor. One moment. All right, guys, and we're back from that interruption. I apologize. I don't know where Ricky's editing. I'm hoping he edits it at that point. So back on Stadia. So yeah, I no longer have a subscription because, again, dude, I don't feel like I need it. When you look at it, I'm thinking of it like none of the features, which were the reason why I wanted Stadia in the first place, are going to be available at launch. I'm going to be very upset that I paid $130 and I'm not going to be able to enjoy my purchase, because at the end of the day, the only game that I would have available is Destiny 2, which I already mentioned I don't care and have on other consoles. So it's one of those scenarios where what benefit do I have by being an early adopter to this? You know what I mean? I really don't. If anything, I'm going to have the $130 for something to possibly sit on my shelf for months when I could use those $130 for something else. And on top of that, the subscription models that I'm already a part of between PlayStation Now and Xbox Games Pass, it's one of those where, again, I emphasize, do I need Stadia? And I kind of don't when you look at it that way. So, especially with the fact that, again, I have a kid coming in 2 weeks. So, not something that I'm kind of like, yeah, I don't think it's necessarily needed. So at that point, I decided to just go ahead and cancel it. And it sucks because here's the other kicker. I wasn't, and this was literally the final straw. This was what did it for me, and I was like, all right, I'm done. Stadia launches effective the day this episode goes live. I think at this point the service has been live already, because I believe it was actually November 19th that they were recording. That was the live date. Again, I canceled this just at the end of last week. I canceled it on Friday. And it's one of those scenarios where I wasn't even going to get my Founders Pack until the 25th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so at that point, I'm not even getting my stuff at launch. So, no, there was no point. It was pointless. So I canceled. I used that money, purchased myself Death Stranding and Jedi Fallen Order, which are both excellent, and I highly recommend them. I haven't been able to play too much of Death Stranding. That one I feel is going to be
a slow starter game.
Yes, but at the same time, I feel like I'm going to need more of a time sink on that one to truly appreciate it. So, like, I have a working theory on Death Stranding that I've actually been trying to, like, write it out. But Death Stranding, from what I've played, and this is the piece that I've loved so much about it, and what got me to purchase it and definitely like buy in, is the little bit that I've played about it. I finally feel like I understand what Hideo Kojima was saying when he says you're already playing this. Excuse me. There was an interview that he did a couple of years ago, and I can't remember who he did it with or what outlet, but he said, "Oh, everybody's already playing the game." And that was like a quote that he said on multiple occasions. And after playing the little bit of the game that I got to play, I played roughly about 2.5 hours. It's a very point A to point B. And when you analyze it in the mentality that I feel I've gained from playing Kojima games, it's kind of like a telling of what society has become. We're all very much focused on getting from point A to point B. It is an open traversal game, so you have this like gorgeous scenery that you can go through. And yes, you have to deliver your packages from point A to point B, but just like in life, all of us are going to walk your own path. You're going to walk, like, depending on what area you choose to walk by, it's going to be more difficult and or easier for you. You're going to have to make sure you're keeping your balance. You have to make sure that you're managing your weight, you're managing your this. So it's a very much symbolism for life. And then of course you have situations where the currency of the game runs on likes. So you have to like literally like, oh, I like you favorite things on Facebook and things like, you know what I mean? You have
Mm-hmm.
That's how the currency works. So it's kind of like I'm looking at it, and the theory that I have is that it's basically like a look at modern life, and part of the reason why it connects with all of us the way, or not all of us, because it doesn't connect with everybody. And even Hideo Kojima made a whole mess of comments in regards to how it hasn't been received very well by Westerners and the American public. But it's one of those where I just kind of feel, at least from what I've played and the beginning of the game, it's very much a telling of how life has become. And that's kind of what drew me in and has me like wanting to go back to Death Stranding. The reason why the people who have enjoyed Death Stranding enjoy it is because it's very much built around that, which is what we're used to, which is the A to B all the time, traversing from one point to the next and keeping our balance. So it's I don't know, it's interesting, and I may be reading too much into it, but it is a Hideo Kojima game, and anything can happen. And
Nah.
as far as Jedi Fallen Order, and I know that we're in the news and we kind of skipped the games that we're playing. Jedi Fallen Order, real quick, really awesome game. Go check it out. It's very Dark Soulsy. It's very much,
Really?
it very much relies on you being your ability to parry and your timing. So it's good combat, but it's very non-forgiving combat. It's very easy to make a mistake and get caught in a chain of mistakes, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean?
Yep, not picking it up then.
Oh no, it's dude, I recommend it. I highly, it's really fun, but you are gonna want to throw your controller every now and then.
I have learned my lesson with Shakira Dice Twice,
Oh yeah.
where I still haven't even gotten through like the first section of the map. Um, Definitely Dark Souls. So yeah, I
So you're
suck at
good.
those. I suck at those games. So thank you Star Wars, or thank you EA for making another game that I will not be able to
You
play
will
just
not pick up.
cause I am not that good.
It's a shame, man. It's really good. I really really much like it.
Nah,
Um,
I'll probably rent it or something and just give it a shot that way. Or if it ever makes its way through one of the subscription models, then at that point I will download it and play it
I'm sure it will at some point,
eventually. Yeah.
eventually. Especially now that you're thinking with PlayStation now adding things to their like marquee titles,
Yeah.
you know, where they add it for like a period of time. I would not
Hmm.
be surprised if this makes it up there at some point.
And
Um,
regardless, it's EA. I'm pretty sure they'll put it on Origin
yeah,
to
exactly. It'll
play
be an
anyway.
Origin at some
So
point.
at that point, I'll play it. But going back to Stadia.
Yeah, exactly. Going back to Stadia because that's what we were talking about. That's how much, and like that's how bad this launched, and I've heard of this on other shows, and I wholeheartedly agree. It should have never been a launch. It should have been a beta open
Yep.
access or something along those lines. It should have been, hey, this service is not going to be perfect. By you calling it a launch, you set everybody's expectations. And unfortunately, this went from super exciting when I first bit into this to, oh no, it'll nah,
To
they
big
got it.
dud.
They got the they what's what wait when no hold on wait what are you doing, say what that cancel, and that's literally how it went.
Hmm.
It was very excited to just kind of like okay, not for me at this time. Now don't get me wrong, there is a possibility that I will at some point buy it, and I'm sure I will be upset that I couldn't get the Midnight Blue controller. Whatever. The point is, I think it's still too soon to buy into this at the price point that they're asking you to buy without um, giving you more information, especially when you have competitors like xCloud, and we have more information on
Hmm.
xCloud thanks to XO19 this year. So Yeah, no, I'm kind of done with Stadia, man. And I'm sorry that you won't get the Friends Pass, but
I
the
was
Friends
just
Pass was going to be delayed by weeks.
I know that I was just gonna say something as easy. I know we had it, we talked about it in our conversation, but something as easy as a random number and letters generator could not make it into the system on time for shipment.
Yeah.
Like,
And
come on, is it that difficult? Well, is the data behind it to be able to create, passes for other people? Was it that hard?
but then you made a point when we were talking about this. You were talking about maybe it's a system limitation, maybe it's a networking issue where they were just kind of like
They don't want to overwhelm their servers.
they don't want to overrun the servers on launch, and that makes more sense, and I can comprehend that.
Then call
But
it.
you should
Okay,
have,
so if you want to call it a launch, call it a soft launch. Hey, we're having a soft launch.
yeah, something like it. Just the marketing for it was not adequate,
Nope.
and I think it's going to help hurt them, and I think it's going to help Xbox significantly. Um, but we'll see.
Honestly,
I mean,
I,
time
I
will
really
tell.
want. I really want to know how many people pre-order this system, this platform, whatever you want to call it,
Hmm.
and at the very end, at what point was it the final straw that they went ahead and canceled
Cancel.
the services, just like you did? So for
I'm
any of those
curious.
listeners out there that pre-ordered it, and you ended up canceling it, or if you pre-ordered and you kept it, let us know
True.
back on our Facebook. Go to facebook.com/groups/, gaming dad 101.
Look at you.
Hey,
I
I mean,
like it.
I somewhat did this for a living once
I
upon a
know.
time.
I know. I know.
So I'm just a little rusty, but
You got it.
I'm getting there.
You got
No,
this, man.
but yeah, no, just honestly, let us know. I really want to know everybody's opinions out there. What is it that at what point did Stadia truly let you down, or if you want to defend it, let me know why you want to defend it and why you want to continue supporting it. So,
Yeah. Let me go back to. I think the promise of Stadia will be nice. I just don't think it's the time to buy in right now.
nope,
So.
I fully agree with you.
All right, let's go ahead and get on to the next article. And this is broken down into two, but this is news out of XO19, which is Xbox's conference this year for 2019, which took place, I believe, in Mexico this year. They
Arriba!
they announced Final Fantasy games are coming to Xbox Games Pass. However, we're going to repeat that one more time. Final Fantasy games are going to be available on Xbox. So they're bringing over the course of 2019, they're going to be adding Final Fantasy 7, oh my god. Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 8 remastered, Final Fantasy 9, 10 HD remastered, 10 2 HD remastered, Final Fantasy 12,
Oh,
Zodiac Age,
damn.
13, 13 2, and then Lightning Returns, Final Fantasy 13, and then also Final Fantasy 15 are going to be added to Xbox Games Pass. That is a huge get, and it's the first time that they're on Xbox for the majority. So you look super excited. Are you? Which one? Okay. Are you playing any of these? Which one are you playing first?
I have never played a Final Fantasy game. One of the reasons why I'm highly excited. One of
Sweet.
the games that I've always wanted to buy for the original PlayStation has been Final Fantasy VII, the original one.
Oh.
I know that they have it for the Xbox, now
Sausage.
services with the updated graphics and everything, but I've never been truly attracted to that version. I've always been attracted to actually owning one of the original copies from back of the PS1 era.
Got it.
But only reason why I have never gone for it is because that game retails right now at around $50 plus. So yeah, it is one of those games that is currently out of my price range for a retro game. If we're talking about a newer game, then yeah, that's a little bit more understandable, and I would cuff up the money a little faster at that point. But now that it's coming to the Games Pass, I'll have the ability of finally playing. Hopefully, it's the original version. I don't know if they're gonna do the remaster version that they did for the PS4, and they're just gonna load and I don't know, port it into the Xbox. That's the only information that I don't know. But we'll see when it comes over. And of course, I believe the other one was Final Fantasy 9, 8.
Hmm.
Which one was the other one that was really
Eight.
good?
Final
Was it
Fantasy. Well, there's a
the
whole. The camps are
so
divided
many?
into which ones are
Yeah.
so good, but realistically, the biggest ones known for the franchise are 7, 8, and then in some circles 9.
Yep.
So I mean, it's kind of a big get. It's very interesting. Um, I would recommend 7. I have not finished 7, but I have enjoyed so far what I've played of
Okay.
7. It is, like I said, it does have a huge fan base, but again, you're it part of the subscription service that you're already going to be a part of. We go back to the
Mhm.
fact of Stadia. Is it actually needed? And then I go back to the next part of the article. The next update is on Project xCloud. So Xbox confirmed that they're going to be adding 50 new games to the Project xCloud service already from 25 different partners, which would include Madden, NFL 20, Devil May Cry 5, and Tekken 7. And they also informed that it would be xCloud would be available for Xbox. Oh my God, for Windows 10 PC, sorry, on 2020, and they are going to start supporting additional third-party controller manufacturers so that they have support for more than just your Xbox, pad.
Sorry,
So
I think you skipped over one sentence there.
what?
The Xbox handheld. Sport.
None of that was announced, Ricky. None of that is gonna be announced. I can't wait for like a year from now where we're just sitting here just randomly one day and just talking about some random deal, and you just go, "Hey, so Xbox just announced this," and it's going to be exactly that. Like, I swear, Ricky, I swear.
Hey,
So,
the year's still young.
dang it. So they're also going to be adding 50 new games to the Xbox Game Pass service on top of what the Final Fantasy games that we were talking about. They confirmed that Rare is developing a new game called Everwild. They announced some Black Friday deals already, which we'll go a little bit more into next week. But they're already there. They're going to be having, basically what it boils down to is, hey guys, we have a new console coming. We need to get rid of old inventory. Here you go.
Yep.
But if you have not picked one up yet, these are actually really good sales that you should look into. So again, we'll include these in next week's article. But dude, Xbox again, they're coming swinging, dude. They're coming swinging, and they're swinging so nicely, Ricky, that I've already said this. I'm going to end up buying 2 PlayStations, of course, one for myself, one for my wife, because we're PlayStation people. But I think I'm gonna be picking up that Xbox this time around, man.
If you want to buy a third one, I'm good to adopt.
A third one, a third one PlayStation.
Either or
No,
system.
no, no,
I
no.
don't
I'm good.
care.
I'm good. I already spent. I already spent. Wait, Ricky, I have 3 children. I don't know. No,
I'm
we're
pretty.
good.
I'm pretty self sufficient and I clean.
All right, never mind. Come on, move over. Let's go. I got dishes that need to be done. Uh,
Nah,
so,
but
dude,
yeah,
they're not playing. They are
they're
not playing
not.
this time around. They are not making the same mistakes that they were making last time. And realistically, um, and I'm gonna hate to say this, I'm slightly concerned for PlayStation. Because don't get me wrong, PlayStation's still doing well.
Oh
PlayStation's
yeah.
still at the top. PlayStation still has a lot of things that they're offering that are still very good, and they're improving on certain things that weren't as good, like PlayStation Now. That is now a viable service that I am actually a member of. For years I've been against the service. I'm actually a member of it now. So they've
Nice.
come quite a long way, but they haven't done anything
Mhm.
extreme. Xbox has done a lot of extreme.
Mhm.
And it's quite of night and day from when they launched Xbox One. So I'm very much looking forward to whatever Scarlet ends up being officially called, which it really, you know what I hate sometimes? Sometimes these console like code names are so perfect, like Xbox Scarlet. Like I say they bring it out. Bring it out, a black and red console. Like that, I'm happy with that. But yeah,
So they've gone from black and green to
black and
all
red.
white to black, all what black, now black and red. Okay.
And Scarlet.
There you go. I mean, there you
It
go.
would be nice. So yeah, man, it's kind of interesting. What do you think? Are you excited for any of these?
I'm excited for the Xbox. To be honest, I don't know how fast of an adopter I will be for the new generation, so I'm definitely gonna wait just because I know from past experiences, there's always some kind of a hiccup at the beginning, especially with new generation
No.
consoles. So I'll definitely be waiting a little bit, to get them. I'll definitely wait until the prices do go down a little bit.
All right.
Um, but yes, no, for me, I think Scarlet is probably going to be Xbox Two um,
You think so?
S. And then
It's gonna be
then we'll probably get an Xbox Two X. You know, I don't know.
Xbox Two XL.
I mean, or we might go to Xbox 360 or no Xbox. What is it? 720? Who knows?
That would be weird.
Who
We
knows?
gotta whenever. Okay, so we gotta figure out when the announcement is. We gotta do like some sort of live reaction or something, and we have to like take bets on what this thing is gonna be called.
I mean, well, okay. So here's the Xbox history. It went from being an original Xbox. Here's the Xbox. You know what? We're doing so good and we're going to be so overachievers. We're going to do 360 on this Xbox and completely fuck it up. So we're calling it Xbox 360. It's a 360 different than what you expected it to be. You know what? We fucked up so bad. We're just going back to the beginning with an Xbox One. That's basically
I
the history of the
mean,
Xbox right now.
I mean, where are you wrong? So it's terrible. It's terrible, terrible. No. So yeah, they're just coming out swinging, and I'm very interested to see. And then again, I feel like for the past couple of weeks, even without XO19, I feel like we've heard nothing but news about Xbox and what they're planning to do for their launch. For PlayStation, all we hear are patents,
Yeah.
and that's all we have so far. Which brings me to the next two articles. Over from PlayStation, we have two patents because we love patents on this show. We love discussing them. At least I personally do. So there's a rumor and speculation that due to a patent that was filed in Brazil, of all places, that analysts have figured out how their PlayStation 5 is going to be able to keep the price down, and it seems that it's all going to be because of the removable SSD drive. Now, so far we've heard nothing but push for the way that the PlayStation 5 is going to have a solid state drive because it's going to make loading much faster. It's going to make everything quicker, which anybody who's ever used a PC before and knows the difference between a rotary and a solid state, that solid state is the superior hard drive
Yep.
because of the speed. But they are still quite pricey. So part of the patent states that the reason they're going to be able to keep the price cheap is because they're going to put a smaller SSD drive and then allow users to update their system, which as a patent, sure, may not be confirmed, but it sounds very plausible to me. I don't know about you, Ricky, but I mean, so far, each iteration of the PlayStation you've been able to update the hard drive. That's been like one of the biggest things that PlayStation has pushed from the very beginning. Well, not from the very beginning, from the PlayStation 2. But I don't see why they wouldn't do it for this. Now, obviously, what makes this special is that there's a particular kind of like a device that makes it look like a cartridge, which is where the SSD would be housed. But I don't know. What do you think? Because I have my fears about this too.
I mean, to me, I would love it. Uh, Again, we can go back to the original Xbox where we have a cartridge
Xbox, you mean
style,
PlayStation?
or PlayStation, Jesus Christ, where we have a cartridge style, so it's a technology that they've already had in the past where you can insert it, and take it out, swap it out if your hard drive gets full or whatnot. So it is a possible technology.
Yeah.
Um,
But it's also concerning, Ricky, because is PlayStation
no,
trying to go back to like the PlayStation only, like PlayStation branded product? Like, in order for you to have a bigger hard drive, you have to buy the PlayStation hard drive. You know what I mean? Like, is it going to be proprietary? Because that's the fear that I have.
this one
Now,
Well, this one is not. It's a third-party company. It's not an actual PlayStation memory card. So they've allowed it in the past. Currently, with the hard drive that I have on my computer, it is also a third-party hard drive. It is not, a PlayStation brand style.
Yeah.
So to me, I believe they would probably have their own brand, if they want to keep it that way. The way that I can see it work is basically have a smaller M drive hard drive in it where you have the operating system and everything where all the networking, all of the updates will be housed in, and then you can have the removable
Hmm.
SSD drive similar to the that type of cartridge that I just showed you, and it at that point it would be a hot swap, meaning your game can currently be running. If you have a specific game where you have all your data located, you can remove the hard drive, insert the new hard drive, and then you'll be able to continue going from there.
I guess.
Um, I mean, obviously, hard drives nowadays are completely different and a
Yeah.
whole lot larger. So I don't foresee that, being swapped as often. But coming to a generations where games are just demanding a lot more memory,
Hmm.
from the systems and everything, that would be something that would truly fix a lot of those people's issues. For example, I have hundreds of games, especially when Xbox and PlayStation, they give you free games month over month, and you want to keep them. Yes, I know that you don't
Definitely. Go
have.
claim them every month.
Yeah, you don't have to install the games, but still, if you want to be one of those collectors where you want the game to be there on demand, that a removable hot drive would definitely be the way to go.
True, true. All right. And like I said, man, just looking at the patent, the only thing I fear is proprietary issues. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they've done that before. Where like for the Vita, you had to buy their mandatory PlayStation, memory card, and they hiked up the price like crazy. And that's the only fear I have. As long as this device is something that you can slide your standard factory whatever SSD drive into it, and then that goes into the PlayStation, that I'm fine with. Um, but yeah, like I said, I have that fear simply because of what they've done in the past. And then the next patent that we have, and this is the last news article that we have for the week, the Sony PlayStation 5 DualShock controller may be revealed in a patent that has been leaked, and it looks surprisingly enough pretty much the same. There's a few key differences where, of course, the light bar is missing and there's going to be a USB-C charge port. But for the most part, it kind of looks like the exact same controller that you're kind of used to with the DualShock 4. There is, of course, all the features that they have already announced, like the haptic feedback that these controllers are going to have. There's speculation on the touchscreen, whether it's going to be a touchscreen or a display screen. So it's interesting to kind of look at these. But perhaps the biggest key and the biggest thing that interested me is that the shape is slightly different. So the shape of the controller is actually a little more akin to that of the Xbox in terms of the handles, as opposed to and even like looking at it. So one of the articles I read called the PlayStation 4 DualShock 4 tubular. Are you bringing out both controllers for our video audience?
Yeah, I
Yeah, so
was.
the PlayStation 4, the DualShock 4 controller is very much more like a tube, like when you look at the actual handles, than the Xbox controller, which is a little more stunted. So it kind of looks like it'll have a better fit in your hand, but the joysticks are still not staggered, so they're still going to be perpendicular to each other. But good news is that I think that DualShock 4s, or at the very least the Astro Pro controllers, are going to be able to be compatible.
They better be shoot. You
I
spend all
know
them
for the
for the price that you spent on them babies.
that's what I'm
You
saying.
better be.
So, what do you think, Ricky? You looking forward to the DualShock 5? Are you shocked? Are you disappointed?
Dual Shock 5 are my shock.
I'll be surprised, dude.
Ha.
I'm kind of surprised that the touchpad seems to still be there for the DualShock 5. They
Now,
barely utilized it for the DualShock 4.
if it's a touchscreen, That would be pretty cool because that is one item. If it's a mini screen, you can truly use that mini screen as a rotatable map or whatever of your actual game. So instead of having a mini map on your screen, imagine just having a mini map right on your DualShock while you're moving. It's like, all right, where is it that I got to go? Right here. Okay, and it just makes it a
I
little bit
mean,
more
that would
fun.
be kind of interesting.
It gives you a reason to use it. And then if you want to go into a game where you want to use some kind of a touchpad kind of deal, you're making it somewhat of a touchscreen, with sensors and whatnot. It'll have a dual purpose.
I guess, man. It
Now,
just
you're talking about bringing up the DualShock price up.
that there you go. That's
So,
so I don't know. It's interesting. I'm glad that it kind of looks the same. I'm glad that I'm pretty sure that there'll be compatibility with the Astro Pro controller, but I don't know, man. It,
it,
it I wonder if this is actually what it's going to look like. I'm with the fact that the touchscreen was so underutilized.
mhm.
I just don't know why it would still be there. You know what I mean? And the fact that the light bar is missing, I think that's kind of disappointing because to an extent, some of these controller like people were able to use these controllers in VR because of the light bar. So does that mean the PlayStation is giving up on VR? You know what I
No,
mean? Are they going to be coming out with specialized controllers for the VR2 or whatever the case is? So it's kind of, you know what I mean? Like these are the questions that I'm kind of asking myself.
I can still have infrared, just like the Nintendo Switch used to have. You'll still have a system where it'll gather the information while you're doing movements. Or it can just work on a gyro style Bluetooth device to where the gyro system will detect the type of movement that you're actually doing with the controller and
Oh, you
sends
mean the
and
six axis?
yeah, and then it starts sending all that information back over via Bluetooth over to your device, where you'll still be able to use, quote unquote, VR.
Sure.
So there's so much things that they can do with it. It's just how they decide to use the technology to their advantage. Um, but yeah, so to
All right.
me, I like the light bar personally. Just
I do
because
too.
when I play some games, the games actually utilize it for your health.
Hmm.
Especially since I like playing in the dark most of the times, and I'm playing my bar is all nice and green or blue or normal color, and then out of nowhere it just starts turning pink and red. I'm like, oh my god, run, bitches! So,
Oh god.
but yeah,
All right. Well, that does it for the news for this week. So
I know, so sad. That's it, huh? That is
that's it
it.
for the news.
Well, I guess we can move over to the next portion, and that would be the cheat code, the very very sad lonely cheat code,
Why
and
very sad, lonely cheat code?
because this week is brought by me, unfortunately.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Now, this week's cheat code is gonna be ear tubes. For those that are wondering exactly what ear tubes are, it's basically a little tube that they can put in kids if they're getting a lot of ear infection, especially when they start school and whatnot, just because they're getting exposed to a lot of germs. They can start developing an excessive amount of ear infections. My 2 year old went through that phase. My 2 year old actually does have ear tubes. Um, I will say that they do work. At least in my case, I haven't had any issues with my daughter. Ever since we had them put in, it has been close to, I believe, what is it, 8 months to a year now, almost, since she's had
Mhm.
them put in, and we really haven't came across a situation to where she has gotten an ear infection
Sweet.
until just now recently where she's like constantly since I've moved in into our new place, I guess with all the construction that's still happening around us, plus all the germs at school and everything. It has, her system is just basically like on overload, so we have to get like prescription eardrops for her ears, for her tubes,
Got it.
just because she just keeps getting excessive drainage from her ear, and it's getting to the point where they're starting to get clogged from
Oh, jeez.
from the high amount um, of allergies that she's getting. I'm in almost in the same boat with my allergies. My throat is starting to go out again. Hopefully, it's not strep throat now for the third month in a row.
Jesus Christ.
So I'm also taking antibiotics. But yeah, no. If you ever hear or talk to your doctor or somebody recommends ear tubes, it is a very minute procedure. It legit only took the doctor what about 15 to 20 minutes with my 2 year old to be put in, and we were called back immediately. When we went back to the doctor to go pick up our daughter, she was already sitting up with a sippy cup, with the nurse chilling,
Mm.
having fun. She was fine. She didn't seem to be in any physical pain or anything or any discomfort or anything. So if you've ever thought about it, go for it. I mean, it's something that's going to help your kid. So if you were ever thinking about it, I just figured I would give you some advice and some personal experience from it, just because I'm remembering. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. She's having an ear infection, and we have to put ear drops. Oh, that's right. We put ear tubes. This is why she hasn't got an ear infection in so long. So
I mean, it's good that it's been so long. It sucks that you're kind of revisiting, but again, it is beneficial
oh
if
yeah.
it's helped that
I
much.
mean, it got to the point where she had been in antibiotics, to be honest, without no joke, for 5 months straight
Jesus.
because of ear infection, and
Yeah,
it was
that's too much.
and it was legit back to back with like a week or two, in between where she was okay, and then within a week or two later, she already got another ear infection, and it got to the point where it got very, very excessive. And to be honest, going from that and being so stressed out to once we put her ear tubes, almost immediately we started seeing a difference with ear
Yeah.
infection and that going down. I do recommend it. It has been safe. My daughter hasn't lost any kind of hearing. She's not hearing impaired or anything from the ear tubes. So don't, at least in my case, I have didn't go through that issue. She's
Yeah.
able to get in a pool. She's able to go to the beach. So there's still water where she can input. She can go in the tub, go underwater. She's fine. Go into the pool, go underwater. She's fine. They only recommend putting cotton balls if you're going to the beach, just because I guess the beach water and salt water just has a little bit more bacterias
Fair enough.
than a normal pool and shower.
Yeah.
But besides that, it's very minimal maintenance that you have to keep up with.
Sweet.
So if you're ever worried about it or scared for your kid about going through a small procedure like that, again, it's a small procedure and your kid would be out in no time.
All right. Sweet.
But yeah, that was the cheat code.
All right.
Oh my god. So
That was
go.
a good one, man.
I
I
mean,
just I have no experience with that, so like I've been lucky, knock on wood, and everything that you possibly could. But that sounds like definitely helped you. So
no, yeah, it really did. But yeah, man, I mean that's pretty much it for the Chico this week. So once more, we're coming to the end of the show.
oh, you look
This
so disappointed.
I am kind of disappointed. I'm like, you know what? We missed a couple of weeks. I'm like ready to get back in, and it's like it's already ending. So with that said, is there anything you wanna, input? Anything that you wanna?
Yeah, what I want to input is, guys. Again, I apologize for the because again we didn't miss we've missed a couple weeks over the course of like
The
the
last couple of
past
weeks.
months. No, because well we missed last week's episode. We did the one before that, and I think we missed the one before that.
Yeah.
So it's been a little trying for the past couple months, and again I do apologize. It's we do this on top of our full time jobs, on top of being full time parents. And we do this, and we do this with joy, and we do this out of wanting to share and the love that we have for our listeners and the people over in our Facebook group. And we love you guys, and we thank you guys for the opportunity that you guys give us. And I'm sorry that we unfortunately have not been as consistent as we like to be over the past couple of weeks. But again, I hope you guys, luckily, like that's the good thing about the demographic that we have is that the majority of our listeners, with a few exceptions, are parents. So they kind of get it. But again, we are making changes to the show. We are going to be doing a couple things here and there. And 2020 should be a lot stronger. So thank you so much for everybody that's stuck with us. Thank you, everybody that is new to the Facebook group. Thank you for all the new listeners that we have. Thank you for all the new likes. Thank you for the reviews, because we've actually had some new reviews since the past couple of times. So thank you very much for everybody. Again, I encourage everybody to please go ahead and leave us an iTunes review, because it does bring more visibility into the show. And yeah, that's kind of where I would like to leave it. If you're one of those listeners that have not yet joined the Facebook group, join the Facebook group, because like that has always been a good time. And it's one of those scenarios where we have a nice core group of people that constantly participate. We have new members that join every now and then we have people who are kind of shy, who will like stuff but not comment. So I would like to encourage those people to go ahead and start commenting, because again, it's not a group unless everybody participates. And so far, I think we have a pretty great group of people. So that kind of does. With that said, we are going to be having a guest host, or the plan is right now to have a guest host for the next few episodes alongside with Ricky. Ricky, of course, is going to take over hosting duties while I'm gone. So he'll be running the show. So if anything goes wrong in the next few weeks, blame it on him. But realistically, Ricky, thank you for the opportunity for me to take some time off and you to be able to keep the show rolling.
I was about to say, I'm like, thank you for the opportunity. For what? For you having a kid? Oh yeah, let me tell you, I had a lot to do with that.
Well, I mean, you don't know, Ricky. You inspired some dreams. But really, no. But seriously, thank you. Obviously, I do need this time, and it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be interesting. I look forward to it. I'm slightly terrified. We'll see what happens. Like I said, if nothing else, it creates some very interesting content coming up in the next few weeks.
I mean, like I said, if you ever need anything, I'm always here.
You're closer now too, which is great.
I'm a whole lot closer now to you. And just like I'll be transparent. Just like I've told you, off air, I'll say it also here on camera and on the podcast. If you ever need anything, just let me know.
Appreciate it, man.
This is one of the reasons why I joined this network, for GeekEnd Cast. This is one of the reasons why I decided to come and be, one of the hosts, for Gaming Dad 101 is because the way that this group is and how everybody is, it's a very tight niche. It's a family style oriented group. If we ever see ourselves down, we are all there. All of you guys are always there, to try to pick each other up. So again, we're a family at the end of the day. I see you like a brother, anytime you
Thanks,
need
man.
anything,
I see you like a brother too.
Just let me know. And I'm always gonna be here, even if I gotta stumble and suffer by myself, or with a co-host, I'll get there.
You got it. You got this, dude. You got this. You more than got this.
Oh, I know that, but I don't want to sound too cocky and then be like, yeah, guys.
Fair enough.
No, coming to you, Illustrations After Dark.
Oh God. So I think we need to at some point film us playing that game as like a special bonus episode or something.
Yep.
Because that was a special kind of game.
Oh yes.
That was a special kind of game.
That is a style of game. That is basically the one thing I'm gonna be sharing for this episode is Illustrations After Dark. It's an adult game. I do not recommend.
It's adult Pictionary, basically.
Yes, adult Pictionary. I do not recommend having any kids around or
No.
play with you. Um,
Actually, I think you could play it with kids because realistically, nothing in the actual game is dirty.
okay.
However,
Is there
everything in the game has a double meaning so that it
No,
could be perceived as dirty.
no, not just that. There is some context that kids are not going to be able to understand. Um, Perfect example was the very first word that basically I got stuck with was
Yeah, that's right.
the morning after sugar pill, and yeah, unfortunately
Yeah,
there
that
was a
was hard.
kid.
Well,
There
that
was a
would be hard to illustrate whether it was kids or not, man.
Well, regardless, there it's just a knowledge base.
Also, how did we end up playing with some random kid? Okay, so we were at a party and we played this game. For context, somebody brought their like 16-year-old kid into this.
12 or 13.
Somebody brought their kid into this. It was weird. Do
Yeah.
not play with kids around, guys. Like it's just an awkward time. But it is a fun game.
It was
Once the kid left, we had some interesting time.
Oh,
Yeah, we should probably talk about that off air. But anyway, let's go ahead and wrap it up.
All right, guys. Well, that's it for this episode. If you want to come and join us, you can always find us on Facebook. Again, facebook.com/group/GamingDad101. You can find us on Twitter at GeekEndCast, or you can DM us directly on Twitter at VisSan for Chris, or myself at PickyGamerDad. Until then, see you next week.
Luego. Hey, no. Hey,
no, it's
no.
my show.
My thing.
My thing. My show now.